I finally got a job. Now I can finally afford to sub. Wait, is that the secret? I just got to get you all jobs and then the subs will roll in. What do you think the easiest job in tech is? It's all changing now. I feel like the easiest job in tech before, well, I'm biased. I see more of the marketing side. Product manager was a pretty easy job. I'll be honest with you, bro. Product, not project. Product manager was pretty fucking easy, dude. But here's what I was going to say. In my experience, product marketer. Let's do a little explanation because maybe you don't, in work in Silicon Valley, you don't give a shit. Product is kind of like any new feature. So for Twitch, okay, my bias is towards Twitch for this example. So let me give you Twitch. Let's say they wanted to add chat replay. Okay. So like, you know how whenever you watch a VOD on Twitch, there's the chat on the side. It's pretty useful. You can see chat on VODs. That didn't exist before. A VOD would have no chat, but then they added that. So that's chat replay. Okay. So that's a product. So that would have a product manager, a PM, who's in charge of kind of like keeping this moving. But this person is not a coder. They have no skill, actually. I'm being too mean. But their entire job is just to tell other people to do stuff. But they don't really have authority either. They're not like their boss. They're kind of like a person who's supposed to like, they get an idea from usually higher ups and they have to make it a reality. And so they add little bullshit to it and they email people. They spend most of their job is emailing the engineers, be like, hey, are you working on this? We're trying to hit this timetable. They're emailing the marketer. You know, they're just a professional backseater. And I'm not saying that job doesn't need to be a real thing, but this job can be very easy. Someone can be really good at it and add a lot of value, or someone can be really bad at it and add no value. And the difference is hard to see. Okay, so that's a PM. However, there's another job related to product that this person also kind of manages or like tasks things to, and that's the product marketer. It's also a PM. This is somebody on the marketing team who is in charge for making marketing for this particular product. This job is easy. This job is easy, dude. This job, again, I never had this job. This is the job I kind of wanted to have when I was at Twitch because it looks so easy and they pay pretty well. This person's job is to get people to care about and use whatever this product is. What they end up doing, this is my experience, is the product marketer just goes to the regular marketing team and asks them to do things. So like, again, as an example, let's say you were a product marketer for, a chat replay is a bad example. What's a Twitch product? What's a Twitch feature that you guys liked or used? Bits. Okay, Bits. That's a good example. Bits. Bits is a product. Okay? So the PM tells engineers to make bits. They work on it. They check in. And they're like, they tell the product marketer, hey, you need to get people excited about bits. You need to make sure people understand what bits are and all this. So the product marketer, they just go to the social team, the email guy. They'll go to all the different marketing people and they're like, hey, can you put something there about our new product? So, I worked in the actual marketing team, and product marketers would just come by and be like, all right, we got this. Can you do something? Can you figure it out? Can make something for bits. That's it. They would just they like make something for bits, make it pop. Okay, it's like trash, and then they sit their ass down and they're done. Their job is done. So they would just pass work between this person and this person. That's it. They were like a work middle ground. And they got paid really well. Yeah, so this is in my experience, that job was like such a joke. Also, just to be real, here's the truth of it. If it's a whole service like Twitch, marketing can help people who've never heard of Twitch recognize what Twitch is. But if it's like a new feature, whether or not it's marketed well, doesn't really matter as much as whether or not it's useful. Just if you add if you add bits and they're useful, everyone will know about it instantly. You don't need a big rollout. So this whole job is again, not super relevant, but you add a lot of busy work to everyone else. Now, there's always counterexamples, don't get me wrong. But in my experience, they're rarer. What about treasure trains? Exactly. Exactly. Treasure trains is a perfect example. Some product marketer worked a long time on the email rollout for treasure trains, and I don't think it made one lick of difference. I don't think it changed one thing in the world. It's crazy I can't get a job where this kind of shit exists. Well, I'll give you 2 counterexamples of that. Number 1, these people are generally good people. Do you know what I'm saying? They're friendly. You seem a little bit prickly. They're friendly. The key of a job like that is you have to ask somebody who's not your employee to do something for you. That's actually really hard. You have to be friendly enough to do that. Do you understand? The subtlety of that job is you are not this person's boss, but they have to do something for you. So the type of person who succeeds in that role is pretty friendly. So that's one thing. The second thing is this job doesn't exist as much anymore. I mean, the tech world is changing. A lot of jobs that were not adding much value are being changed. 100% agreed. It's hard to get grown adults to RSVP for something. Yeah, 100%. There is a skill to it. It's just, it just feels a little overpaid. It felt some type of way. Also, if PM didn't exist, it doesn't mean another job would exist. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, people are maybe overly salty, like it's taking away from them. It's just the game that is played is real. It's very easy to be a bad PM hiding as a good PM. Because it's a hard thing to measure, you know? I am an engineer and I have 14 different people asking me to do stuff nicely. Exactly. So they have to be really nice. But it is a role that needs Riz. Engineers hate PMs, but straight up nothing we get on time without them. There's some truth to this. I mean, I can make fun of engineers too, don't get me wrong. Especially software engineers, bro. Especially software engineers. If the PM truly knew that their only role was to make sure this got done, they'd be way better at their job. But most PMs think of themselves as like Steve Jobs. And so they're constantly trying to like tweak and add things, and they don't have the knowledge to do that. They're not like they don't know the customer extra well. They don't know the product, how it's made extra well. They don't know the tech stack. They don't know. They're really just supposed to keep things moving. When they stop doing that is when it really comes up the work. The engineers in my life have gotten promoted to manager positions, and they hate how their day has turned into herding cats that all think they know the perfect way to be herded. Yeah, 100%. I mean, listen, on the engineer side, things engineers do, engineers will be asked to do something and then spend a huge chunk of the budgeted time working on a feature nobody asked for. Or adding in some little thing that doesn't matter or doesn't help. And then they get petty about it. Then when you're like, well, that's not part of the thing. That's not part of the spec. We have to cut that out. They get pissy. They get really pissy about it. Again, this is all companies with all people, but in a tech company, it happens more often with engineers. In a big corporate environment, if someone asks you how long something will take to do, you are incentivized always to lie. The bigger the corporation, the more incentivized you are to lie. You are supposed to always say triple, quadruple, 10x how long it actually takes. Okay? You always say longer because that gives you more time. You can stretch it out. You're not thrown to the next task. And engineers are extra guilty of this because it's hard for the non-engineers to know when they're lying. Okay? So they constantly lie and they constantly take long to do simple things. And that gums up the works of a tech company to where, suddenly features are taking small features are taking way longer. So, everyone's got their quirks, bro. I'm telling you. IDK, man, we crunch all the time in game dev world, so it's different here. I'm sure it is. Most people who leave game dev and go to the companies that I would work for have horror stories. They hated it. It was insane crunch. They are so glad they got out. They didn't get paid nearly enough. They got taken advantage of for loving gaming. Like there's like this triumvirate of groups in most companies where it's like sales, marketing, engineering. Well, actually, I'd say there's probably 4, and management. and they all hate each other in some way. And they all promise things to the customer that the other ones can't fulfill, or to each other. Engineering doesn't really promise to the customer. Every one of these groups is lying to the other ones about their capabilities, about the amount of work they can do, and about what they're telling the customer. I mean, actually, no, the worst is this. Listen, these three hate each other the most, but it's because of problems here. Like, these guys kind of skate by, but everyone's infighting here because this part has not set up the company correctly. The incentives are wrong. So as the company deteriorates, these three will start fighting more and more and more because they all have their own incentives to how they get promoted, how they get their bonuses, how they get a better job. And so they have to follow those incentives. And these two, you know, the other two always conflict. They conflict with your personal incentives. So it's like a League of Legends team with one AFK. Yeah, sort of, I guess. It's like a League of Legends team in that everyone hates each other. And they're all just barely held together by the collective greed for Elo. But they all don't like each other.